Hey everyone, welcome back to the fourth vlog of Explore UPSC. On the previous night of 8th, I made my to-do list because that helps me keep my mind on track. The target for 8th of June was to complete 2 chapters of microeconomics as well as do one CSAT question and reward myself for completing the first economic On the next day, I got up at 5 in the morning. I wasn't feeling great, so I kept on tossing and turning till 5:30 on my bed, but then urged myself to get up and went outside. I saw that the weather was really nice, the wind was soothing, so I went upstairs and roamed for around half an hour, watered the plants because that's a part of my routine now because I'm getting up early, as well as it gives me a satisfactory feeling that yes, I did something fruitful and something good today. The sun looked like this small ball behind the clouds, and small orange ball. And after roaming for around few minutes upstairs, I headed down and made tea because that's how my day starts. Without tea, my day cannot start. Along with my tea, I decided to start my first study session that was from 6:40. I'm going to start the new economics book, that is microeconomics. I thought this book would be interesting to read and started off at 6:40 with the first chapter. That was actually the introduction of the whole book and other chapters in the book. While I was reading the first chapter, I didn't feel that this book is going to be difficult because it just had the introduction of all the other chapters of the book. While studying the first chapter, my hand started hurting, so I used crab bandage because that helps me ease the pain. While I was reading the first chapter, I didn't feel that this book is going to be difficult because it just had the introduction of all the other chapters of the book. It was pretty easy while I was reading the first chapter, but after the completion of the first chapter, when I switched to the second one, I realized that this book is a little complex than the first economics book because this one has numerical equations which I have studied in to 10th standard, but I haven't studied to apply them in economy. I would need to go through a YouTube video to understand this microeconomics book because it's not going to get into my head without watching a video. Still, I had to keep on going with the first reading because that's very important to at least know what's there inside the book. So I kept on reading and decided to watch the video for the microeconomics book later on when I complete the first reading of the whole book. After studying for half more hour, I completed few pages of the second chapter and took a break because already 1 hour had got completed and I was feeling hungry. I took a look outside and the sun had completely risen. The wind was still cold, but I was too hungry to go upstairs, so I just made myself some oats. I do eat them frequently because I like them. It's not that tasty, but still, when you're hungry you can eat anything, and plus these oats do taste good. After eating oats, I did my normal morning routine. I took a bath and had my breakfast, did other things, watched videos, etc., and sat studying at 12 again. I continued from the page where I had left. While I was going through the rest of the pages, the chapter kept on going more difficult and difficult. It was increasing its equations and I was not able to understand any of it because I hadn't opted economics, as well as I'm not that much interested in maths. But I still had to give it a reading, so I kept on going with it. I would really have to watch a video of microeconomics in detail, otherwise this book will be really difficult for me to understand. I was so happy when I completed my first economics book. I thought that economics is really interesting, but after reading this book since few hours, I realized that economics is interesting till few levels, and then comes the major things of economics. But still, it's not that difficult as well. I will find out ways to lessen the difficulties. After studying for few hours, I finally completed 3 chapters of microeconomics. Though my target was of 2, I completed 3 chapters. That was a bonus and I was happy about it. Later on, I went to give myself my reward, which was because I had completed my first economics book within few days, and my reward was going to my friend's house, because that was something which I couldn't do in the previous days because of the lockdown and the peak of the COVID-19. We had no hope of meeting in the school as the exams got cancelled, so it was the best part of the day because roaming around with her on the road was something which we both enjoyed the most, because we didn't get the chance to go outside to talk to each other for so long. And then we had some snacks and I returned back to my home. After taking rest for 1 hour, I sat for my third study slot, that was of CSAT, and I answered the question which said that the average age of a teacher and 3 students is 20 years. If all the 3 students are of the same age and the difference between the age of the teacher and each student is 20 years, then what is the age of the teacher? Now, at first I couldn't understand this question, but after giving it 2-3 readings, I came to the solution that I just need to assume the students as 3x because the age of the students is same, and the age of the teacher as x plus 20 because the difference between the age of the students and the teacher was 20. Then I applied the formula for average, which we all know is the total number of items upon the sum of all the items, that is 3x plus x plus 20 upon 4, and which is equal to 20 because the average age of the teachers and the student was given as 20. I solved this equation and came up to the answer that the number of students is equals to 15. Now x plus 20 is equals to number of teachers. X is 15, 15 plus 20 is equals to 35. So number of teachers is equals to 35. These questions seem to be pretty tricky in the starting, but when we keep on practicing them, I guess we can solve them easily later on. That is why I have started practicing them from the first year. I'm taking slow steps towards CSAT questions. I solve one question daily. That is my target. So yeah, well, that was it for the day. After this, I marked my to-do list with satisfaction because I had actually completed 3 chapters of microeconomics book instead of 2, which was my actual target, as well as I completed my CSAT questions. I was super happy because of the reward and because of the bonus chapter I read. So I slept with satisfaction. Good night, and thank you so much for watching. Do like, comment, share and subscribe. Bye bye.